Previously on Brick Wall Cinema.
We got the trailer for X-Men 97 that just released. And we'll be right back after this. X-Men! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! This trailer looks so cool!
Oh my god, the art style they're using, it's so clean. Well, I know Jean's pregnant. That's gonna give birth to Cable.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, in the comics, Cyclops and Jean are the parents of Cable.
Oh.
Do you think they'll tie this into the cinematic universe, or will it be its own separate timeline?
No, it's its own thing. They gotta make it its own thing.
I wonder if they'll add any other heroes into this. That would be interesting to see. Like I said before in an episode before, that I love it when these characters and the heroes get together and you're able to see the relationships between them. And I would really like to see if any other heroes come in.
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me?
Welcome to Brick Wall Television. And for today's episode, we're gonna be talking about X-Men 97, season 1. We're gonna do a review / recap of season 1 of X-Men 97. So let's do with the basic info. We only got two. I'm just gonna tell you it's rated TV 14 and released on March 20, 2024 on Disney Plus. And the Rotten Tomatoes score is 99% for critics and 95% for audiences. Everyone loves it. Everyone. Except the 1% critics and the 5% audience.
I'm not sure if it's a 1%, 5% audience. I just think that there's this aspect that some people would say that gives it a lower rating.
Sergio, you want to bring up the synopsis?
Yeah. A band of mutants use their uncanny gifts to protect a world that hates and fears them. They're challenged like never before, forced to face a dangerous and unexpected new future.
All right.
Isn't that kind of ironic? Like it says they have to face a new future, and the twist that happens at the end of the series at the season 1.
Oh yeah, we should go to spoilers. Spoilers. If you haven't seen the show, go watch the show. Everyone gone? Did we scare everyone away that hasn't seen it? Do you think we did?
How should we go about this? Should we go by episode, or do the whole thing and just go over our thoughts about the whole season?
Do you just want to do the whole thing as a whole?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier. I thought it would be easier that way to give our whole thoughts about it, because if we go through it one by one, we would have to go watch them one by one and then give it immediately after watching it. And I feel like we're already too late for that.
All right, we'll just talk about our favorite scenes, characters, and episodes. How about that?
I guess, yeah. Let's go for it.
All right.
We are pretty late to the party.
We are really
the season already finished.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago too. Last Wednesday, I was trying to look up an episode and nothing was there.
Yeah, well,
I hate that
the good news
feeling.
is that there's already been okayed for the second season. That is already being made, so we're gonna get it soon.
Oh yeah, and we should talk about the creator?
Which creator?
The creator of X-Men 97.
Which one?
The writer. Also, he's also the co-writer and wrote almost all the episodes.
The recent one?
Yeah, the recent one.
Okay, I just wanted to specify. All right. I don't know too much about him, so I'm not sure what I can say.
So let me just give a rundown. Creator and also co-writer Beau DeMaio. He recently got fired right before the show got released, like the first episode was released. And they never gave an exact reason why he got fired, but he's been really helpful on social media saying how every episode we should watch before the next episode comes out. And
to help us catch up on the current events and what's happening in the series right now.
Yeah, and he helped explain theories that people have had online too.
Do you think that could have been why? Like too much coverage or attention to theories or something like that?
No, how could it be because of that? Because it wasn't out there to say what happened yet. It's before the first episode dropped.
So wait, what?
He was fired before the first episode dropped. So how could he?
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So usually when a company doesn't give a specific reason, it's usually because it's a pretty bad thing, something that they can't talk about. But I can't think of him actually doing anything or him being involved in anything bad.
Well, there's sources that say that it's because he was very hard to work with, like very strict and stuff.
I get that. I mean, it makes sense considering what the final product was. Usually people like that usually do put out good products. but that it's really hard to work with them for a long period of time, and that's what they're planning to do with this series.
Right. And I think they already finished writing. Yeah, he already finished writing season 2. So we're going to have the same writing for the next one. And I think we should talk about the writing for this show.
The writing for the show is peak.
It's amazing.
It's reminiscent of the original series, but also gives it like new life. It gives it so much depth and meat into it that you can chew in it, and it's just so juicy.
You're talking a lot of meat metaphors, dude. Meat,
well, yeah, because
juicy.
Yeah, we've talked about like how we compared like these movies to meals, like how Wish was a bare bones meal, whereas other movies have more content that give it more of a flavor.
I didn't even think about it like that. You're right. We do a lot of meat puns in this and a lot of food puns.
Mm-hmm. Especially right now, like just to give context, there's a bunch of food being shown from the first episode.
Yeah, if people don't know, we have this show running on in the background as we talk about it, sort of like background noise. Like, what's the visual version of white noise?
I don't think that is something that there is. It's just something that's being played in the background. I don't think there is such a thing as visual white noise.
Oh, I know. TV static. Wouldn't that count?
I thought that just means that you just have no signal.
But that could count as white noise. You just have it on the background. Maybe like a sports game or something where people just have it on the background at parties or a movie.
I'm not sure if people actually do that. Usually when they have games like that, they are people who are actually paying attention to it. But I think so. I just think of Coco when the Ernesto had his movies playing on the screens. I think that's something like that.
Yeah. Let's talk about the animation.
The animation is very reminiscent of the original classic style that they had back in. Wait, when was the first one released? They were released in the 80s or 90s?
90s.
90s. Okay, thank you. So it released in the 90s, and the animation is choppy, but it's still pretty good considering the times. And right here, they actually give homage to it by using the same kind of style, but cleaner and more aesthetic and very more expression.
Let's talk about our favorite episodes.
I think my favorite episode might be. Let me think. It might be when the biological sentinels attack the mansion. Or maybe it was the first episode. One of those two. I forgot which episode that was. The
first episode was the one where the Sentinels come back. And like they had to go to the desert to go stop them.
Yeah, I know that one. That's what I'm saying. It was either the first episode or the episode where the biological Sentinels attacked the mansion. I forgot which episode that was.
I think that's the penultimate episode. No, that's the one before. Is that the first episode of the Tolerance to Extinction 3-parter?
It might be. Because I do know at the end of that episode, Xavier came back, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, it was I believe it was that one. Beginning of what was it called again? I'm getting confused.
Tolerance is Extinction.
Oh, Tolerance is Extinction. There you go. All right. So should I just talk about those two episodes?
Yeah, sure.
All right, then. Well, in the first episode, I was very cautious because I had no idea what was going to go on. And also I heard about some news about how the creator was trying to push some of his political views onto the show. And I felt like, oh no, is it going to be like one of those kind of like trying to be woke things, but it just comes off as pretentious? But then once it came on, I was like, wow, this is actually really, really well done. And it's reminiscent of what it actually stood for in the beginning in the original series.
Well, when you say that, it sort of makes more sense because I believe that Beau DeMaio, the creator, was gay.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of gay undertones in this show.
True. I do see that. Like with Gambit's crop top, with basically just morph, like how he is, basically. I'm not sure if it was I'm not sure. Actually,
it's they. They say in the credits, like when they show the descriptions for the characters, it says they.
Oh, okay. It's because whenever I hear Wolverine talking to Morph, I see him talking to him as you know what? I actually don't know how to speak about that because Morph has always confused me. In the original series,
I don't think you can say that anymore.
In the original series, I'm not even sure. I'm not even keeping track of what I'm saying. Yeah, I can find out this time. All right. In the original series, he's actually not around for almost the entire series. Just say
Morph, man.
I know I'm trying to. It's confusing. That's what I'm saying. It's confusing. Morph is not actually around for pretty much the entire series. They are. Dude, stop. Just don't say anything. Don't say anything. Let me get my head straight because I have no idea how to refer to him.
Just say he. No. Just say they or Morph.
All right, so Morph is not around for.
Be like
almost the entire
Gambit,
series.
Sergio. Be like Gambit. Just say his name like in the third person.
Morph only shows up in the first episode, and then later on in the series, when Morph is supposedly dead, then gets brainwashed. Then Wolverine goes to find Morph, and Morph just leaves. So I was not sure how they were gonna act in this show, but seeing them act this way, it's actually really fun to see them. I'm trying to make sure I get this
Say
right.
Morph. Just say Morph, man.
I know. I'm trying to say that morph. It's because there's so many characters that you can keep attention on that it's really hard to keep up with everything. And the action is pretty top notch, and as well as the animation as well. Looking at everything, something is moving. Always something is moving, and I believe they talked about this in other animation shows that have been very successful. That there's always this little bit moving from here to there, not crazy like in your face movement, but just subtle movements that keep your attention on the screen, and it's fun. It keeps your attention on it, and it's always so interesting to see how these people are acting.
Right.
And then in the first Tolerance Extinction episode, which I said was one of my favorites, was when Wolverine and Nightcrawler are fighting the Sentinels in the mansion to protect Rogue as she's unconscious, and that I loved that scene because it was so cool and it really showcased Nightcrawler at his best, I believe, like what his abilities can do. That's what I really liked about that episode, like the X-Men all fighting and showing their action and capabilities. It was really cool.
That episode had my favorite shot in the whole series.
Which shot was that?
It was when Nightcrawler was about to bamf one of the human Sentinels away, and at the same time, Wolverine has claws in them, and you see the bamf as he transported through it.
You mean as he teleported?
Yeah, that's called bamf. Like the sound effect is bamf.
Yes, that's the sound effects. I'm saying that's his ability. He can teleport.
Yeah,
he does it. It's actually confirmed that he teleports through a different dimension.
Yeah, but it's cooler to say bamf. You told me you don't like saying bamf, Sergio?
No, because it sounds like a childish sound effect they do on like Bill Nye.
When have you ever heard a sound effect on Bill Nye?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I'm aware of what Bill Nye. How many Bill Nyes do you think I know?
So then why'd you ask that?
Why do you specify Bill Nye a Science Guy? If I said Bill Nye,
because he's known because his previous show was known for his sound effects.
It was not known for the sound effects, and second of all, it wasn't PBS. It was Disney Channel.
It wasn't Disney Channel, was it?
It was Disney.
I remember it being on PBS.
Well, it was made by Disney.
Then why is it on Disney Plus?
I think it's on Disney Plus.
This is not. I've seen it. I've seen Disney Plus.
You try looking up Bill Nye a Science Guy on Disney Plus.
I can look it up right now, man.
I'm looking it up right now.
I'm looking it up.
No, I'm looking it up because this is the most important thing we're talking about right now. In this discussion of X-Men 97, we're going to talk about Bill Nye the Science Guy and whether or not it's on Disney Plus, because this is the most important thing right now. Are you guys happy you're listening?
I mean, it wouldn't be on here. I don't know why you're trying to antagonize them like that.
It's not on here. I was right, Sergio. Wait, hold on.
What do you mean you were right? I was the one who said it wasn't on there.
In a way, I was right.
No, you weren't.
I beg to differ.
I bet you if we go back to listen to this recording, you said the exact opposite of what you're saying right now.
Joke's on you. No one listens. Oh.
I'm not sure how that's a win for you.
Who said it was?
You did.
I didn't say I win.
Yes, you did.
No.
Anyways, one aspect of the show I found like taken out of left pocket was the left field. Was the relationship between Rogue and Magneto.
You didn't like that?
Not exactly. I get it, but I'm not sure if I liked it. To me, it just came out of nowhere, and I was confused because this was never showcased in the original show. And the whole point of Rogue's character is that she's never felt the touch of another person.
But it makes sense how they brought it in together. How they made.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying I don't get why it was included. Because it did add a good depth to the story and sort of a extra layer of personal what's the word?
Depth?
Personal what?
Depth?
No, not depth. I already said that. Personal connection, I believe. But I didn't really see why it was added. I think they could have done it without it. But wasn't Rogue and Gambit in a relationship?
Yeah. That's why you got so hurt when you saw Rogue leave the room.
Okay. Well, I just saw it as more of them admitting they had a relationship. I didn't really see them do anything about it because Rogue said that she didn't want to continue that relationship. They just touched hands and that was it. I'm not sure if it's implied that they did something else or not, but that was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking to see.
Oh, it was heavily implied,
And I-
Sergio.
Huh?
It was heavily implied. Like the whole scene
I,
in the third episode, there's a
yes,
part where
I know. I don't want to delve into that right now. I just don't want to.
I kind of do though, because it was one of the funniest parts of the whole show to me. It was Morph, Wolverine, and Gambit leaving the training facility and looking on the session, like looking on the list, saying who's next, and Morph clicking, saying,
Looks like Magneto and Rogue have the Danger Room next. Oh, and Ultimaro too. Wow. Rogue's really training her stamina with the new boss.
It don't say that. Stay on patrol. On second thought, maybe Gambit go look for Rogue right now. Shush your farm.
I didn't think that was funny, but then as I was watching that, one thought came to me. It's like, so Rogue is basically cheating on Gambit,
yeah.
and no one calls her out on it. The fact is that she wants a relationship, and Gambit's over here trying to make it work because of how much he likes her, and she's going out with a different guy.
Some people don't know about some people's hang-ups or connection with other people sometimes, or don't even want to bring it up.
Then
Even
why did it bother showing that the Gambit was heartbroken when Rogue cut him out of the office?
Well, on that logic, why would they show Wolverine kiss? Why would they show Jean Grey kissing Wolverine out of nowhere after Scott leaves?
Because Wolverine has always been with her, and remember when she looked into his mind while she was trying to regain control of her powers, she saw that how much she means to him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, that's all happening after there's already some buildup of what the relationship is like and how Wolverine feels about her. But this just comes out of nowhere out of the first few episodes. So if you're watching it and you see this, you're thinking like, is Gambit and Rogue in a relationship? Are they not? Does he just like her and she does not know? But as you go further in the series, she does know because she claims that he is her man. So that brings me to the conclusion like Rogue was cheating on Gambit.
Yeah.
So
even at the point where they were at the Hellfire Gala. I mean, no,
Yeah.
not the Hellfire Gala. What am I saying? What was it? The Hellfire Gala?
I think so. It was the gala that they had at the whole. I'm not even sure what it was called. I don't remember.
The
I know it was. I know it was a
Genosha.
gala. Yeah, the Genosha gala that they had. That's because Magneto made an offer to Rogue, saying that he would help lead Genosha if she would be with him. And she's thinking, if I do this, I would help mutants. And then I guess it's a sort of breakup with Gambit. I'm not really sure.
You're supposed to be with me, bro. Me and more than me. It's like I can't even touch you, sugar. I can't even touch you. I can touch him. And
Why are you?
Okay, fine.
I'm not sure why you're making fun of that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because to me, that's a very heartbreaking scene.
It is heartbreaking. I honestly, this show grabbed me on the edge of my seat. I'm like, I'm really hooked on this soap opera shit right now. It was amazing to me. You know how amazing, and you know how great of a show it is where you realize it's soap opera and you still don't care and still keep on watching it?
Well, yeah, but I do have another critique on it.
What?
How did Magneto survive that blast?
Barely.
No, how did he? Because when we see him, he's not hurt.
Oh.
He's not in critical condition. He's strapped to a chair, being like shaving his beard. How did he survive that? Did they teleport him? Because we didn't see anything. And if that's the case, how did they get him out of there without taking any of the mutants and they all died? I have so many questions about that. I get that it's usually something you're supposed to look into because it's supposed to be a twist. But I was thinking, like, how did that happen? That came out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, but would you rather hear a detailed explanation of saying how much? Because it might not be a good reason why. Would you rather have to deal with a bad explanation or just say that he's still alive?
To be honest, I feel like him just being like that is just ex machina, which is generally a bad explanation. But why? Oh, you know what? Never mind. I was going to ask why did they do Magneto, but the whole reason why they did that is to make sure that he can't use his power to fight back because he's one of the more powerful mutants that could actually fight them. That actually could shut down his entire army.
Yeah, and it's the power he has. Like the idea, like you don't want to fuck with him, but they keep messing with him.
Yeah,
they keep on pushing him to the brink of him saying enough and just get a freaking EMP across the whole world, shutting everything down. Even the nuclear power plant's about to go to chaos because of no power and everything. That the whole world's done. it's kind of screwed at this point. Even if X-Men do save at this point, they are got to do a lot of damage.
They did save it.
Even at the point that they did, still a lot of bad things happened, or must have happened. Around the whole world, Sergio, you really think that the X-Men saving one part and bringing back the electricity back after a little while is going to help the whole world back together? Yeah, it's not as big as, let's say, Thanos snapping his fingers or the Sokovia Accords. And
what are you talking about?
I'm comparing, Sergio. I'm just saying, if you turn off all the power in the world for more than a day, yeah, it's going to go to chaos.
Well, yeah, but they don't really focus on that. This is just the same thing that I said that they did with Magneto. They don't really give an explanation of what happened. It's sort of like them just rebuilding, them recovering, and giving homage to thinking that the X-Men are dead.
Right, I guess so.
I noticed that with this show, they, for like the really big things that are happening, they don't really give explanations too much. So much as they're saying like, this is how this works and this is how it's going. I've noticed that with some certain scenes. Also, the same thing happens when Rogue is suddenly sick. She was punched by the biological sentinel of Trask.
So I guess we're just talking about Rogue right now. Okay, continue.
I'm sorry. It's just because this is another thing that isn't fully explained. It's because she is apparently sick from being punched by the sentinel Trask. Well, did he do something to her that made her sick? Because now she has a fever? Did she get infected with something?
Honestly, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, because like I said, during the beginning episode of Tolerance is Extinction, it's because she's seen in a hospital and like being in here because she's sick. She can't fight. What happened to her? Did she get infected with something? There's no explanation for that. And as I said before, Rogue's character to me is brought into question because the fact that she cheats on Gambit. She leaves him for Magneto to lead Genosha, because I have never seen her character act this way, based on what I've seen from the original series. Not to say that it's bad to see the complex intricacies of these characters, but I guess for me it was just out of left. It just came out for me. It just came like straight to my head like a truck. So I was taken aback.
I guess we're talking about Rogue now. Okay.
We're just talking about whatever caught our eye, dude.
Yeah, but there needs to be some sort of structure. It is, because if not, then it'll be chaos. It'll be anarchy.
The whole show is anarchy. It's based off of that. Them trying to bring order to a very chaotic world.
Oh, shut up.
Because, well,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Can you prove me wrong? Even when Magneto actually tries to bring order when Genosha is under attack, it all goes into chaos. And when he finally gets released, when he gets free and goes on an EMP, and giant EMP around the world, he says that he's going to create a new world and destroy this world and leave it in chaos so that it can destroy itself. And then he tells the X-Men, if you join me, we will be free from all this hatred and fear. And then Rogue and Sunspot, who is what's his name again? What's his name?
Alberto.
They join him. Which I get Alberto's reason why, but I don't get Rogue's reason why, other than she's just going through grief of losing Gambit.
Alberto got on my nerves at the beginning of the series.
Oh yeah, he did. It was fun to see this new addition to the team, but at first he was like, oh geez, like how do you?
What's going on here? I don't belong here. I'm super rich. My family doesn't even know I'm superhero. Like I like that part where he like it's sort of a.
The conflict between like hiding who you are,
like the trapped in a closet allegory.
Yeah,
I like that part of it, but like the whole before we know more about him, the whole introduction of him saying like it got my nerves a little bit. Like it's like wow, very real environment. I believe it, but then again, I kind of catch myself saying this is dialogue that would be in a '90s TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know what? I'll give some leeway. Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Let's talk about. Okay, I want to talk about my favorite episode. Hey, I'm gonna stop it right here and just warn everyone that's listening that from this point on, I start rambling about my favorite episode, and I just want to let you know that I tried editing as much as I can, but I can't. There's a lot that I just can't edit because if I got rid of it, then you lose parts of stuff I say. So proceed with caution. My favorite episode was episode 5, remember it. That whole episode, like, oh my God. So much has happened in one episode alone. Like, Genosha is like, see how flourishing new Genosha is as its own part of the UN.
Its own country.
Yeah, its own country. And everything's going really well. And we find out that that Madeline Gray's been communicating to Scott via FaceTime every time he's while they're about to make
telepathic link.
Yeah.
But they've been communicating, grieving over the fact that they just lost their son.
Yeah. And I thought it was pretty funny where it was about to happen, what they were making. I was like, you're still talking to her? You're still talking to her? No, baby, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. It got so kind of remind me of if like your ex calls you while you're with your girlfriend. It's like, what? Who you call? Who's calling you? Oh, no, you don't understand. Stop calling this number. It didn't remind me of that?
No.
Someone out there is relating to it right now saying, same, brother.
Yeah, I know. I can see the similarities. I'm just saying it didn't remind me of that.
Oh, just wait, Sergio. Once you get a girlfriend, you'll figure it out. You'll realize it all. You'll see it. You like chance of spitting real fire.
Just go on to the next thing, dude.
All right. We had the whole argument between Gambit and Rogue saying how I can't even touch you. And he's like, but I don't care. I still love you. And then immediately afterwards at the ball, she's dancing with Magneto in the air. And previously in the beginning episode, Magneto makes a joke about how Gambit can't fly.
Gambit, please remember that should the new Blackbird suffer a malfunction, you are the only soul on board for whom gravity would most certainly be an issue.
Once they go to the dance, you see both of them flying above him and dancing and touching each other, just rubbing it in his face, and ends it with a kiss. Oh, that must have hurt. But I loved every minute of it. Oh, I feel like that scene from remember that scene from Incredibles where Syndrome was giving a rundown of what happened? Like, oh man! That's how I feel right now.
I always knew you were tough, but tricking the probe by hiding under the bones of another super? Oh man! I'm still geeking out about it!
I'm the same way. I'm just not happy about it. Because
I know, me neither. It hurts, but it's like that good hatred. Like you watch, like, oh, that hurts. That sucks, but I can't stop watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just basic soap opera kind of like appeal, where it just gives very complicated character relationships. But since I saw the original series before, I feel like the X-Men relationships are just getting too complicated, and they just don't do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. And then before anything happens, we see in the night sky, we see the Watcher. So we know some shit's about to go down. Well,
it's a sort of like very vague outline of him. So I didn't see it at first, but you saw it, which is helpful.
Yeah, but when you see the Watcher, you know some big shit's about to go down. And immediately after they're all dancing, boom, 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 Sentinels coming in, busting everything down, making all this chaos happen. And Rogue, Gambit, and Magneto had to go fight the huge Nimrod. I think that's the name of the three-headed syndrome. The three-headed.
No, it is not.
It's
Nimrod's
not?
Nimrod's from the future.
Oh, what was the name of the three-headed?
I thought it was
Sentinel.
Master Mold.
Yeah, Master Mold. Yeah, the Master Mold comes in, just starts messing everyone up, and you see Rogue doing a whole like it was. I mean, I'm not gonna go play by play, but just all that happens during the whole scene, even with Gambit.
It starts off with your classic superhero stuff, basically them finding them off and giving inspirational speeches, but then it starts getting into very dark topics with Magneto's trauma,
Gambit dying,
and Magneto supposedly dying and losing so many people, and the pain that Rogue feels when she loses both Magneto and Gambit.
And even after flashes of Magneto seeing his past in the concentration camps, you see him get a train saying, "They shall be avenged," and whipping them with the train. Oh my god! Oh my god! I loved it. I loved it so much. My hypeness is coming back up right now. Like it's always been there, but it's showing more than ever before on this episode. I'm in my room like, oh my god, and you see like, and even all that's done, you see like he's like, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, it wasn't, and everyone dies,
I noticed that another YouTuber who commented on the episode said it was very much like Invincible. It reminded me a lot of that.
How?
The amounts of blood that people dying despite the heroes doing their best. Because in most shows, the heroes usually save as much people as they can. You don't really see them get too hurt, but you see them fight off the villain. Where in this one, the villain actually won, even though they were able to be fought off. It was like there was no winner. It was just a basic massacre where so many people died, and it grounds itself in like this was a loss. There's no such thing as a win in this situation.
No shit, it was a loss. We lost so many mutants in this.
Yes,
place.
That's the whole point of this. Why I said it's like Invincible, because Invincible in his first fight, yes, they were able to fight off the invasion, but there were still people who died. They put emphasis on that.
Yeah.
Then it went on to wait. What were you gonna say?
I would say then after all it's all happened, we see it on the news. It shows all the chaos that happened and all the aftermath, and you see all the X-Men just looking at the TV, all shocked and terrified. And you know what it reminded me of?
What?
9/11. Kind of how everyone was just in shock and just silent, like, oh my God.
So basically, like any disaster that's ever happened.
Yeah. But just
like Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. And it ended on the saddest of notes. Just Rogue holding Gambit saying,
I can't feel you.
oh my God, I shed a tear. I'm man enough to say I shed a tear in an animated cartoon on superheroes. X-Men. I am man enough to say that. I know what you're going to say, Sergio. Yeah, you can say that nowadays. People don't usually worry about it anymore. But
I was going to say that.
You weren't?
No.
What were you going to say?
I mean, I was starting to shed a tear too.
Oh. Well.
Also, are you going to go by this play-by-play?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just talking about my favorite parts of the whole episode, which is mainly the whole episode. I just had to sit with it for a while and just say what happens because, like, a lot happens in one episode.
A lot of stuff happens in every episode. A lot of stuff really does happen.
But a lot of shit moments happen this episode.
You mean like the part where they found out that Jean Grey was a clone?
Yes. Wait. Oh, that was episode 2.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what else do we want to talk about?
What was your least favorite episode?
My least favorite episode?
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it was. I think it might be the episode where I honestly couldn't say if I have a least favorite episode because every time I think about a certain episode, I think about something I liked about it and something I didn't like, but I can't say what I liked more than what. I honestly can't differentiate the episodes like that. If I had to pick, maybe the one with where Jubilee and Alberto go into the game and go into a game and Mojo traps him in the game trying to get content out of it.
Oh, episode 4, Mazindo.
Yeah.
I like that episode. I love the animations. We need a new X-Men game. It's been over 30 years.
Yeah. I think it's just because the X-Men haven't had really good stuff coming out lately.
Yeah, and I love Jubilee.
Besides this show.
She's one of my favorite X-Men.
There's not really much to talk about in this episode because it's just I think I always saw Mojo as just a representation of the greedy industry of like always trying to consume more content.
I think this was a call, like talk to older viewers of the show and how Jubilee was to stay in the past, and there's like talk to her older self saying I should get older and stuff like that.
I see that too.
Okay, yeah, and my least favorite episode. Really, I wasn't really a big fan of the life or like not life or death subplot, but the episode where they talk about Charles Xavier and what he was doing at the alien ship. That didn't really grab me. Mm-hmm. I love everything that happened with Storm and Forge, but that whole subplot of Charles Xavier, we need a reason why for him to come back. That's basically why they had the whole scene, the whole story.
You mean a reason why he's still alive?
Yeah, they needed a reason. Well,
yeah, but at least they gave him a reason.
I mean, yeah, they had to give him a reason. It can't. The whole show started off with them saying that he is gone, so they need a good reason why.
I will say this about that episode: I was looking forward to seeing like them actually deal with a permanent character death, but then they brought him back, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I should have known that they wouldn't have kept him down for long. But as the season went on, Gambit is not coming back, and it looks like he's going to be a permanent death.
No. Wait, Sergio. I gotta hold you right. I gotta stop you right there because they tease he might come back.
Yes, that's what I said earlier that the Gambit died, and I was like, I'm calling it right now. I don't think he's gonna stay dead because there's always like characters dying and coming back. Jean Grey has done it several times before, and I think it like that. But I meant like throughout the series, like throughout the season, it seems like he's gonna be a permanent death. Although I do think he's gonna come back sometime maybe later. I'm just not sure when. But I will mention one more gripe I had with the series. At the end, when Magneto and Charles are fighting through his telepathy, and he almost wipes his entire brain. The remaining X-Men, Rogue and Alberto, suddenly like put the fact that they were fighting against each other to do different things and just kind of come back to work together like nothing ever happened. I was confused on that.
Man, that's what X-Men do all the time. They say,
No,
I'm sorry, I messed up. All right, come along. Because the whole thing is about them being forgetting and changing.
But they didn't say that they messed up. They didn't say like, oh, we were wrong.
You don't need to.
Nothing like that. Don't need to.
You don't need to sometimes, Sergio. X-Men.
She just turned her back on her entire family.
Magneto killed millions of people.
What?
Magneto killed millions of people.
And she still went with him.
And he's still back in the team.
Because they needed his power.
But he's still back in the team.
For how long? Because if you're saying that this them about never changing, he's going to do something again.
And they'll forgive him again.
That sounds so hypocritical.
That's what X-Men do, Sergio. They forgive and forget. Or no, we forget. They forgive.
Okay, but...
Because they're supposed to be the pinnacle of change. If they want the world to change, they need to start by the change. If they want to make a world a better place, they got to look at themselves and make the change, Sergio.
Yes, I get that. But they don't hold any of them accountable.
But what are they going to do? Put them in timeout?
No, but they could at least done what Magneto did, where he actually turned himself in and had a fair trial.
Well, they do that They do that sometimes.
No, they only do that once with Magneto.
Well, how many times are they going to have someone go to jail?
They could literally do that so many times. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, but in the same season, that'll be a joke after a while.
It is a joke.
It won't be taken seriously.
It is that's what I'm saying. It doesn't get taken seriously because they are always doing this. They are always going back and forth between the views. And why I said like I don't know what to take seriously because Rogue just went against her family to say that humanity needs to die.
Yeah, and even
and they just forgive her like that. I see that as a joke.
They forgive Professor X when he said, "Oh yeah, I didn't really realize that Magneto would be a bad idea to put as my X-Men leader." Because he
wasn't as first. Because Magneto actually did want to honor Charles's viewpoints and the fact that he thought he was dead, and actually tried to make a change for better. But once the whole thing happened, because the people who are still prejudiced against mutants made a move to destroy most mutants, he snapped and went back to his old ways. Magneto actually did a good job of leading the X-Men until that point in Genosha where he actually just went back to his old ways. And I also told you about this before when I talked about Rogue's relationship with Magneto. I saw that as strange because Magneto and Xavier are the same age. And Rogue can see Xavier as a father figure. But he's so much older than Rogue. And I was like, what's the timeline here?
Oh, now you made it creepy.
I know. That's what I thought at first when I first heard about it because I thought it was creepy. Oh. But they played it off pretty well in the show, even though I thought it was coming out of nowhere for me. There's a lot of stuff that happens on here, and I feel like it's getting this all heated up because of the fact that so much happens. There's so much drama and so much intricate relationships that it's really confusing to voice out all your opinions on.
Yeah, but we should really just stick to the point that we do love this show. If we are arguing about it, it's how much we're very passionate about it. That's why. Yeah, but let's try to do our best to not let our like viewpoints like get too much into us enjoying the show. Yeah, let's just try wrapping this up before we start getting mad at each other and start pitting teams against each other and start becoming enemies and starting to fight each other and build teams up and they're to fight each other because we know damn well I'll be Xavier and you'll be Magneto. Why would I be Magneto? Because you're always starting shit. I didn't start anything, though. You started this. Started what? I'm able to bring people together, Sergio. I formed a podcast. I collected the people. You are one of the people. I brought you into my world. Chance? Yes. You're really going to say this when you literally just said that no one listens to this? Uh-huh. It doesn't mean that I haven't formed a team that no one listens to. We're like the X-Men. People listen to the X-Men. Barely. Yes, because there's still a lot of hate for them. Yeah, at least people listen to them. People don't hate us. People don't love us. Well, we got 14 followers today. So isn't that mostly from our families? Why did it be so? Why can't you let me have it, man? Let me have the
Because you've
suspension
done
of
this to me
disbelief
before.
that I thought that it's all friends or like people from like Michigan or Texas or something like that. I don't know.
But then we would have way more if it was from like all those different kinds of places.
No, it could be like that one person that like, hey, look at that Brick Wall Cinema and press on it and start watching it. Oh, I like this. I'm gonna listen to it more. Man, that Chaz is a funny guy. Sergio doesn't really understand his humor.
Why are you always trying to make me out like that?
Make you out like what?
Like I'm the odd one out?
Sergio, you don't understand half the jokes I tell you on this show.
Well, yeah, because I tell you I don't understand them. Most of them you
Exactly.
make references to other things I haven't seen.
Oh, I honestly lost my train of thought right now talking about this because I feel like
Yes, this is what
we
I
should
mean,
probably
you-
stop before we say something we don't mean and can't take back.
You already said that stuff.
No, I didn't, and if I did, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. All right, well, yeah, let's start off. Let's just end it off by saying like this was a really good show. We recommend it highly. Just be prepared for a lot of drama and a lot of complex issues being mentioned.
No drama and complex issues on the X-Men show.
Yeah, because this is trying to appeal to a new generation where many people don't really realize just how intricate the relationships between the X-Men are.
You know, I agree with Sergio on this. If you are the slightest bit of interested and want to watch the show, go watch it. By all means, you don't even need to really watch the original show. You can just watch it from here.
If you do want to catch up on some things in order to keep track, just look on the social media where the creator actually gives out information on which episodes to watch in order to keep up with the action.
Yeah. And this is a great introduction to X-Men for people. Forget the movies. Watch that after you watch this show.
Also, you notice that how they introduce a lot of other people that were not originally in the X-Men, like they showed like Spider-Man, Captain America,
Yeah,
Iron Man.
they're all from the cartoons from that time period.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, it was interesting to actually see them and to have them actually do stuff, and it was interesting to see that. So I'm wondering if they're gonna roll with that in any way,
Well, they're
or
all
if it's just gonna be,
connected
or if
to
it's
each
just
other.
gonna be, or it's just gonna be cameos.
They might have like a cameo or something like that, or like an episode about them, but that's mainly it. Because we saw it with Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah, and we also saw Captain America interact with Rogue.
Yeah,
as
that
he was.
that scene was
and,
pretty funny.
Oh yeah. But like I said, like that was one of the first ones I've seen where they actually interact with someone who's not part of the X-Men, like who's someone who's outside from the X-Men. So I was just, and I mentioned before, like it would be really interesting to see them interact with other heroes. So I'm really interested to see if they're going to go anywhere with that, or if they're going to keep it mostly cameos and keep them mostly interacting with other X-Men.
I think they're gonna bring them in at some point because they even show Silver Samurai, and we see
Well, Silver Samurai was in the original series.
Yeah, I'm saying like they showed him a lot in this show. Like when they ever do like a show, when they show like a cityscape, they show him in the background, and I think they're gonna bring him in because of what happened with Wolverine at the end of the season, and like him getting his adamantium back or something like that, or his swords.
You mean his skeleton?
Yeah, his skeleton.
And his claws?
This might be an introduction to his bone claws, or reintroduction, I should say.
I don't know if they'll do that because he already had his bone claws before. This is after this is after the Weapon X program, which everyone knows his origin because of the movies. I'm not sure they're gonna go. I'm not sure if they're gonna backtrack like that.
Yeah, but he lost his adamantium.
He lost his metal skeleton.
Yeah, remember when he tried stabbing Magneto, and he's like, you know what?
He did stab Magneto.
Yeah, after he did that,
I'm still confused on how it is Magneto isn't dead.
Yeah, after he did that, he's like, you know what? You know I could do this the whole time, but I was holding back. But you know what? Like, oh my god, my adamantium. You don't remember that?
I thought it was him twisting his skeleton, trying to rip him apart.
No, that's his adamantium. There's silver and everything all around him.
No, I know. Did they actually take him off his bones, or did they just, or did it just like mangle him badly? Because I know he can heal from that.
They take off his bones.
All right, so you know what? I'm just not going to question that because I feel like it's getting too complicated, and I'm just going to keep questioning it.
Yeah, we gotta stop. We're going down a deeper spiral. We gotta cut it off. We gotta cut that sucker off. Cut that turd off.
Just stop. All right. Thank you everyone for joining in. This is our episode on the X-Men 97.
Wait, we didn't give a rating, Sergio.
Okay, then what's your rating?
I gave it a 10 out of 10. Well, no, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 stars.
Okay, we really gotta figure out how to properly say that because I feel like we're getting too confused with other people's ratings.
We're doing this 5 out of 5 stars. I gotta say that this is amazing. I want to rewatch it. I'm gonna rewatch it after we're done talking about this, and I'm gonna show it to everyone I know because everyone I know loves it. Even my dad, I think, loved it. You know what? I'm gonna bring him in.
Why are you making this longer than this has to be?
I'm not trying to. I'm just gonna get other inputs. And if we have more people,
no, you don't have to bring in other inputs. It's just us.
If we have more people on the show, people might be more have more of an incentive to show other people, like, hey, look, I'm on this show.
Chance,
Sergio,
why didn't you ask them beforehand?
Because I didn't think about it.
So you're making this longer for what?
A challenge.
So why not ask them beforehand?
I didn't think to. You know what? Let's cut it off. All right. You, Sergio, what's your rating?
5 out of 5. This was a really great show, and it really gave justice to the characters from the comics. It really makes them interesting, and it feels like real people, even though I do think that some of the takes on them I just couldn't vibe with, but I did love this show.
All right, we can call that an episode. Finally, we went through so much peril to go through and treachery. All these lives lost.
Are you still recording?
Yes. All right. I'm Chance.
I'm Sergio.
I'm Chance.
I'm Sergio.
And have a cinematic day.
Did you forget what to say?
No. Don't let me let you down.
What is that from?
That's from the second episode.
I do not remember that.
You know, that was when he pushed the whole entire UN and the exterminator up into space.
Oh,
like,
isn't
look
it
at
the
this shit.
executioner?
I've been trying to be a good guy, but you keep on messing with me.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, you're making this longer than this has to be.
I'll cut it off. Okay, bye. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok at Brick Wall Cinema. Have a cinematic day.